What is Drumbeat marketing?
Drumbeat marketing is a approach to marketing that is particularly beneficial to early stage companies. And what it does is essentially it's a foundation in messaging, right? Taking a marketing approach, understanding what are the unique points of view and differentiators you have as a company, not just the ones that you want, right? It's easy to sit in your office and say, this is what we're different. It's really much better if you know what's the competitive landscape and what are the actual differentiators that you offer that are valuable to customers. Creating strong points of view, a message and messaging around those differentiators, and then consistently hammering those points of view through all of your owned, earned, up to paid channels.
Great. So how do you do it? You focus on that strong point of view and you share it repeatedly across all of those channels until that point of view resonates and becomes associated with your startup. It's how we base our marketing practice for our startups, especially B2B, in who they talk to on their audiences. We break it down that Drumbeat marketing is content marketing plus social media plus PR and SEO.
And that's an important point, is the consistency and discipline that we just talked about. So prior to working in tech, I was a reporter. I covered the New Hampshire primary, which is the first in the nation, and it's all about retail politics. And I talked to John Huntsman, who was the governor of Utah at the time, and he said, in New Hampshire, you have to shake someone's hand 10 times before they'll consider voting for you, and then 10 more before they actually will. And that's the exact same thing with messaging. Only when you are sick of it does it begin to resonate with anybody outside of your own building. And one of the things that happens to startups is they fall for the shiny object syndrome. They have an opportunity to say this, or they have an opportunity to say that. And so they've said everything, but they're not known for anything, right? And that's why it's so important to take that marketing approach, really understand foundationally, who are you and what do you want to be known for? And then continuously saying that over and over again. And that's why Drumbeat's so important for early stage companies, because nobody else is saying it.
So why do startups need Drumbeat marketing?
It's actually an excellent question. And it's a very funny one too, because our colleague, Joe Raska, has a long history in finance, right? And he always thought that what we did on the marketing side was sort of fluff. And then now as an investor, where he sees hundreds of companies a week, he realizes that oftentimes the tech is table stakes, in the sense of like customers expect it to work. They expect it to solve problems, right? And that the companies that go from proving a little bit of product market fit with a handful of companies to the ones that scale are the ones that are able to build a brand that people want to associate with, right? No matter what you're selling, at the end of the day, you're selling to people. And people react emotionally to things. And if you can build something, you become a champion or an advocate of something that those people believe in, they're more likely to support you. And in this marketplace, where it's more competitive than ever, and there are fewer barriers than ever to start a company, there's an incredible amount of noise. And the only way to stand out from that noise, or one of the best ways, is to create a really strong brand. And a strong brand is something that is unified across every element of your company, right? When we say through all of your owned channels, I just don't mean your blog. I mean your email signature. I mean the way that your salespeople talk to a prospect. I mean the way that your customer support people answer a phone call, right? Like that is all part of the Drumbeat approach. And having that be unified and consistent, no matter what point of the sort of digital supply chain they enter in on, is how you build a true long-standing brand.
Well, because at the end of the day, it's every brick is laying that foundation to build that brand. And as long as everyone is saying the same thing, it keeps adding those bricks in to make that wall to really show what your brand is.
And the reason that it's difficult is that I understand, I've been at startups, and you're moving really fast and you are looking for instant success and instant gratification. And the drumbeat approach is playing the long game, and you can build a roof, but if you haven't laid those bricks, the house is going to fall apart. And that's why drumbeat is such an important philosophy, because it takes in both that sort of systematic approach while also layering in some big home run swings that can accelerate the process, right? But sometimes if you swing for a home run, you miss. And if that's all you're doing, then you haven't moved forward. But if you're constantly laying a brick day by day, you're getting better. And then when you do connect on one of those, you have something to multiply.
Well, it's also essential that you're thinking of your audience as you're doing it. If you keep shouting out there to no one, it's what you need is to make sure you know who your audience is and keep talking to them consistently.